Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Sabanson, and welcome you guys to another episode of the DREAMERSPRO show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see it, man. And, well, today we got another ridiculous show for you guys. Before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. So, it was just the other day I gave the Clippers some good credit because they beat a team that, frankly, has had their number for the longest time, going all the way back to 2021 in the Denver Nuggets. They won a game at home against Denver, and I just didn't think they would win. I didn't think they would win, but they pulled it out, and it was very, very impressive. But the following night, they were slated to play the Los Angeles Lakers, and I remember in that game, they were talking about, oh, is Kawhi Leonard going to be on minutes restrictions, because they're playing tomorrow night. And I'm like, didn't this guy just play, didn't he just have an all-star break? Didn't the players have 7 days off? Minute restrictions. What's going on here? So anyway, I tuned into the next game last night to see them play against the Lakers, and I missed the beginning of it, but I think Kawhi had 22 in the first half. Luka, I think, matched him, and there was a back and forth, and they made it very, very interesting in that fourth quarter. Third quarter, they were able to go on a run. I think at one point they went on a 16-1 run in that third quarter because they were trailing the Lakers going into the half. So I think in the third quarter, the Clippers really turned it on. Yes, and they scored 30-27. So they outscored the Lakers in the third. And in the fourth quarter, I believe the Clippers scored 27 to the Lakers. So it was a close game. And it was entertaining when you get to see these two teams kind of go back and forth with one another. It's also interesting to see their playing styles. The Clippers play with a lot of defensive intensity, whereas the Lakers, they don't play with any defensive intensity. The Lakers play to draw fouls. That's essentially how the Lakers play. So they have a totally different philosophy. Lakers players complain a lot to referees, man. I was just looking at the comment, man, this is something they got to get out. But then when you have Luka Doncic, who's their best player, and that's all he does is complain, what can you expect? But anyway, going into the fourth quarter, the game was up for grabbing, whoever wanted to win the game. And then I believe about 3 minutes left to go, Kawhi Leonard had hit a three-point shot, right in front of, I believe, Marcus Smart's face. And I'm like, okay, this is going to be a game that's going to go down to the wire. Then out of nowhere, Kawhi Leonard, I see him talking to Ty Lue, and then boom, he's gone. He's gone. And I'm like, what? He's talking for a few seconds, and then Kawhi Leonard just walks out of the game, goes to the back. And they're like, oh, he's dealing with some soreness. And I'm like, wait a minute. This guy just quit on his team. I just literally watched a player quit on their team in a game that they had to win, and he just walked off. He left. He left the game. Right there. 3 minutes to go. And the moment he left the game, I lost almost all interest in the game. Do you know why I lost interest in it? Because I knew it wasn't going to be no longer a competitive thing. Yeah, the Clippers may be able to sustain some competitive fire for maybe 1 or 2 minutes without their best player. But then eventually the effect of not having your best player on your team is going to come and is going to show itself. And that's what happened. And I just remember I think I turned off the game not too long after that. And I'm like, this guy, man, people wonder what happened to kind of my relationship rooting for Kawhi Leonard and all of this. As you guys know, Kawhi Leonard had been my favorite player since 2017. 16, 17. The reason why is because, he had a kind of similar playing style to Kobe Jordan, and Kobe kind of took him under the wing and all of this stuff. So it was kind of a natural progression because I generally like players with that type of playing style, especially perimeter-based players, right? But as time has gone on, one thing I've discovered about Kawhi is that in certain moments, he will give you his all. But if there are other moments, man, where he can just kind of dial it back in, he will. Now, some people say he had an injury history and all of that. Look, man, you're playing in a game, there's 3 minutes left. You're playing with a lot of adrenaline, right? You have adrenaline going through your body. If anything, try to win this game and then figure out the next one. figure out what comes next. We don't know when the Clippers play next. I think the Clippers, they were slated to play a few days later. I'm just trying to look at their schedule here. I don't know who they're playing next, or rather when they're playing next. And their next game is going to be on Monday, if I'm not mistaken. So you could have. I mean, it's only 3 minutes. 3 minutes. 3 minutes. And I just remember saying to myself, like, this is why you can't invest in Kawhi Leonard emotionally. That's why you haven't seen me talk about this guy more than 5 times this season. Now, I have, when I think he's done something great, I spoke about him. I did recently. But if you follow the channel, you would know my disposition on this guy coming into this year and for the last 2 years. I'm not going through this thing of, I'm going to support Kawhi Leonard and he's going to be back. And no. I'm not falling for the banana in the tailpipe thing again. It's over with. It's a waste of time doing that for Kawhi Leonard. It's a waste of time. Do you know why? Because the moment you get emotionally invested in this guy, he does something to let you down. And I've come to realize the number one thing I dislike about Kawhi Leonard as a player is that you can never rely on him to be there all the time. And that's something that I didn't have to worry about with like other players in the past, like Kobe Bryant. You knew Kobe was going to be there. Come hella high water, Kobe would be there. And with Kawhi, and I don't know if it's the same for some other people that have other favorite players in the NBA, you just can't count on him. You cannot count on him. And trust me, in that moment, his team was like, damn, bro, there's 3 minutes left in the game. And 3 minutes left in the game. You couldn't gut it out. The sore ankle, we couldn't have worked on it later on. Like, we couldn't have figured it out after 9. They're like, oh, well, we want to be precautionary. And this is the way of the Clippers. They are notorious for losing games now in hopes of winning games in the future. That's been the philosophy of this franchise. They will lose a winnable game now to save a player and then say, okay, we're going to try to exert ourselves in the future to win a game. And then what ends up happening is they overplayed the players and then they get injured. That's what happened to Kawhi Leonard 3 years ago when he got injured after game 2 against the Suns. Yeah, they were doing this load management nonsense, taking precautionary measures, and then they realized, oh my God, we're about to miss the playoffs. Oh, let's ramp him up. And they ramped him up, and they ran him into the ground, and he fell apart in game 2 in the Western Conference, in the first round of the Western Conference. This is the way of the Clippers. This is how they go about doing their business. This is the Clippers. It's unreal. Unreal. These are my thoughts. Catch you guys on the next show. Peace.